What is up, everybody? My name is Dane Thompson. Welcome back to another episode of BurnDown. So we are still on the Twinnebago project, which is right over there. Plenty of stuff to do. I ordered a bunch of parts. I dropped parts off the machine shop the end of last week, so hopefully that thing's supposed to be put together this coming week, which is in a couple days here. We'll start the new week. But for the most part, I have wiring that I cleaned up. I actually started on the Twinnebago yesterday. Today is Sunday. Yesterday was Saturday. So I started filming. I was out there and I was doing some wiring. I just kind of hit the wall. I mean, the weather's been super dreary. All the crazies are out buying up all the toilet paper and food. Like, all the shelves are empty in my local grocery stores and stuff. Luckily, we don't have to go over there. I'll wait for this coming week to do it. But I was just in there wiring and working. I was by myself, and I just was like, kind of hit the wall. And I was like, you know what? I just didn't want to do it. So I actually rested up yesterday. I've been going gangbusters on that thing. I'll show you what we have got done, though, because I've been working after hours during the week. So what I decided to do today, the rain was kind of it's like barely misting. I don't have actual windshield wipers in this thing, but it's been sitting for a little while. We need to start it up, and I figured, if I'm going to start it, we should drive it around a little bit. And the hardest part about building a project is you put all the work in without any of the return, and you got to get all the way to the finish line before you get that return, starting the engine, driving it around, all that fun stuff. Well, on the Twinnebago, we have put in a lot of work so far. We are still a ways away from that return of the sweet sound of the motor running, putting it in gear, checking for leaks, getting to take it around the block. We are still a little ways away from that. And on top of that, with all the crazy that's happening right now with the COVID-19 stuff, they're canceling larger events. So I'm afraid that LS Fest is going to be one of the events canceled, but I get the safety concern. The thing spreads rapidly. Obviously, we can't have a bunch of sick people. Obviously, it's going to take a little while for this thing to blow over, but the good news is I was already planning to go to LS Fest East, which is September. Hopefully by then they get everything ironed out and under control. So if West doesn't go down, we'll just be that much more prepared, bigger, better, and better with the Winnebago for LS Fest East. And that'll also kind of give me a little reprieve from doing that. So what we could do is we could break working on this if they do call LS Fest West. And we'll take this thing to the track and beat on it and have some fun, because I haven't got to take this thing out since Roadkill. But yeah, that's kind of where I stand. Yesterday was just one of those days where I kind of hit the wall and was like, and I started filming and I was like, So what we're gonna do is I rested up yesterday, so today we're gonna pick it back up. I'm gonna start off by taking the car out, driving around the block a little bit. This thing has a tank full of E85, so it's been sitting for a little while. We got to stretch its legs, make sure it still runs, get the fluids flowing. I can't just leave this thing sitting for weeks on end. And remember why we do this. And part of that, thankfully, I have a project that runs and drives right now, so we can start it up, smell the fuel, drive around a little bit, and go, oh, that's why we do this, and we work these long, crazy hours. Most of it is because it's what I enjoy. The other half is to bring it to you guys. So I mean, it's a twofold. But yeah. Anyway, long-winded intro today, just because of all the stuff, in light of all the situation. But fire this thing up. I'm actually gonna turn it down. I forgot I have it still set at like full kill race mode from Roadkill, which is only like 15 pounds, but I don't really need to drive around the street at 15 pounds boost, and because all it does is spin the tires. So we'll turn it down a little bit, cruise around, warm it up, run some stuff through the system, and then hopefully that'll get me fired up. We can grab some coffee, then we'll slow way back down and go do some wiring. Versus time, and have it at 8. So we'll take this guy to 4. Bam, sent to ECU, done. I've actually never turned on the windshield wipers. So this is my knob. Oh yeah, look, it does work. They do work. Oh, we're good. I'll just go put my wipers on. Go see if I can find them. All right, we got these guys. The blades look pretty crusty. We'll put them on 'cause it's better than nothing, right?
Yes.
Bubba.
Why everything is falling down? Can't be a lot.
This thing's worked out absolutely terrible. So bad, but there's time in there. We'll just have to get it along, wait. Some more. It's gonna be rolling though. Motivational Sunday. We get a little boost action. Let's do the loop. Then I'll go home. I'll feel better about my situation. Yeah, it doesn't like the wet. Yeah, dude, this thing way too sketchy right now. It's just sprinkling, but with a spool and the tires I have on there, you can't give it any gas at all. All right, now it's time to go get to work. I feel much better. Coffee first, though. All right, back for a little adventure. Got me some coffee. I'll show you real quick. We got the Granatelli 4-inch cutout on the exhaust, and then I actually went and got a couple bellows, and that goes to the rear of the coach. And then you guys have seen this portion. This is where the turbos live. But yeah, the cutout portion is new. There's the Granatelli cutout by AM, and then these bellows are new. And then also, let's cruise back on over here. Got a little helper. You ready? Drinking his juice. Watch your step, babe. We have got.
Yeah, this is not juice. This is grape juice.
Oh, okay. So we've got the little bullhorn style exhaust. It sits much flatter when it's hooked up to the other portion, and then it just has a V-band. It cruises on. And then we cut away some of the coach right here to clearance it for heat. And then what else did I do? Oh, I moved around some wires here. We got some of the hodgepodge cleaned up over there. Got the dash back in. We're about to test the wiring to make sure everything works still, because I taped it, moved it around, and kind of stuffed everything away. I've got a big coil of wires I didn't use, but I have a feeling I'm gonna need some of those circuits when we do like the Holly or whatever else. So I just coiled up a big old thing and zip tied it up underneath the dash. But we'll hook up some power, make sure everything works. Blinkers, all the turn signal stuff still work. I put a little light right here on this switch under the dash for a little LED glow, so we can kind of see when you get in when it's dark. And then today what I'm going to do is I found the pinout And I have a couple wires down here for fuel sender, and then I'm gonna run a wire from the fuel pump back this way. So we'll hook up the fuel sending, which is not terminated, it's right here. And then I'm gonna have a wire ready to go for the fuel pump. I believe the Holly, which I ordered, by the way, should be here pretty quick. It powers a fuel pump. It has a limit on the amps that it'll power, but I have a 450, and I think that the power from the Holly should be enough to push that directly. Like on my car, I've got a MagnaFuel 4303, which is kind of a big boy. So I actually have the relay from the Holly going to a separate relay, which powers the 4303. But in this case, I should just be able to power it directly, and we should be good to go. I'll double check when we get that far, but I'm gonna run a power wire from that. So that's today we're gonna pull that, run those power wires, kind of get that situated, get some of the glob of mess over here situated. Then if we get further, we'll kind of start looking into brake stuff, and we can cover that. But that's what we're doing right now. So let me open the coach. You ready to get in here? Looks like I left my transmission out. Got sprinkled on. All right. You ready to go, B? Got my big help. My big help right here. What are you working on today?
Working on here so I got these cores for this because I'm trying to make this clean and vacuum.
You're cleaning that part? With a hammer?
Yeah, and tape and scissors.
Tape and scissors. Boys doing work. Real quick too, I'll show you guys. I think it's all wet in here from the rain. But all of this stuff is looking good. It's probably hard to see. You okay?
Yeah. Wait, I know where's the hold?
And then
Holding up top
the
right
kitchen area. They got these little dudes, decorative dudes here. Got the tiki. Got this all cleaned up. So the in-laws are doing good on the inside as well. Yes, B.
I know where's the hold. Come over here. It is right up there.
Yeah, we got to change that out, huh? It's open right now. But it's dripping on the toilet, so it's not that bad, right? Okay.
I'm gonna get to work right now.
All right, wiring fun time. Let's do this. So I put a grommet here. This is all stuff that goes to the back of the coach. And then I fed everything that's kind of motor related through yesterday. Didn't really button everything up. And then I've got the main power, which is this guy coming through. So we will hook it up, make sure that the hodgepodge and pulling on stuff didn't really mess anything up. All right, no big sparks or anything. All right, I hear it. Good. Good. All right, both those guys are working, so we are good. I need to figure out and test all of these guys. See, look at that works too. So that's brake lights. But I bet the rest of these either need bulbs or they're just dirty or whatever. Make sure headlights. Headlights, parking lights are good. All right. The LED strip is good. And what was the other one? Blower. All right, so everything we hooked up is still pretty much good to go. So I will work. You're done too? You're good?
Yeah.
Ronnie's stuff is good to go. I'm gonna go underneath and unplug the plug from the tank because I left it, I cut it. So I have a little jumper and we should be able to just wire that and plug that thing in and then hopefully run wires. I need to find a pin out as well for fuel power and all that fun stuff. So let me go grab that thing and then we'll get back to it. Ooh, coffee. Boys working away. So this, we have a jammer. Bam. So this is what I need to pin out. So we'll find the pin out for this. And this is like a map sensor, but that's got to be for evap stuff.
Okay, see how many of the dirt?
Oh, you got all the dirt? You cleaning it?
Yeah, I'm cleaning it, but there's a lot of dirt.
Okay, you gotta go clean more then.
Yeah,
You're doing a good job.
Like when I hammer it, the dirt is getting on the tape.
When you hammer it, the dirt goes on the tape?
Yeah.
Okay. Good plan.
So I'm putting it on there because that's where I put my.
Why don't you go put it in the trash? Thanks, buddy. Yeah, so my in-laws showed up. I took a quick break. I was talking to my father-in-law about the project, and he was all excited about stuff. And I come back to work on this thing. I'm underneath here running some Adele clamps across one of the bars it goes across so I can feed the wires in to have a place to hang them. And my wife lets all the water in the arena go. Look at, she starts flooding me out, dude. See all the water back there? Yeah, here we go. So, I made her stop it because I have to get under there at some point. So hopefully it doesn't flood me out too bad.
A few moments later.
Alright, fuel pump wiring is done. It goes up in there. Got it connected to the fuel hat. And then it runs all the way up front now. Over to here's for the fuel pump itself. And then I connected the other wires in back here, run along. And then one of these is my fuel gauge. And then I don't know what the other one is. Coil positive. So one will turn the computer on, one will run the fuel gauge. Another interesting thing too, I'm gonna check this right now. So this, under power, when I turn the key, I need to make sure that that stays live. If it doesn't, then we have an issue and I'll have to figure that out because it won't start if the computer's not under power when the key is turned. And somebody was saying Dodge is weird. When you turn the key, it'll take power from everything. So we're gonna find out if that's the case. Hopefully not. It's a little bit later, but I wanna wire up the rest of the Granatelli cutout. So what we'll do is we'll wire up the switch. I'll actually take the cutout off and we can actuate it and see how that thing works. Yeah. And then get it wired where it goes. And then that'll be one last thing that's on the agenda.
Becky!
Is that even English? What did you just say?
I just said buddy trash.
Like somebody doesn't need any more sugar. So let's go wire up the Granatelli, find a spot for the switch on the dash, and then see how that thing actuates back and forth. All right, so we have got the switch up on the dash for the Granatelli cutout. The control box, everything is mounted up underneath. And then I ran it, I had to pull the power down. And what I did is I just looped all those individually and I put them together and stuffed them up under the dash. But I pulled one out for power and then we ran the cable outside and then down. But what I'd like to do is I'd like to show you guys, if I can find it. Oh, here it is. How this bad boy actually works. So let's do this. Set the camera here. Here is this guy. We will juice it. Bam. And then the cool thing I want to show you guys. So the cool thing on this I want to show you is it's a one-touch system. So I guess previously with these types of deals, you'd have to hold it and then until it was open and hold it till it was closed, but you didn't really know. I guess you could hear it, but it didn't do it by itself. Well, this one does. So if you turn the key on, ready? Turn the key on, and then if I just hit the button one time, watch. You gotta turn the key on first. So now we'll hit the button one time. Woo! Wide open, then it clicks off, and then you hit it one more time. Bam! So that one more time. One more time. Woo! And then again. Shuts, seals up, rock and roll. So that is slick. And again, I have it all wired to go down there. And then what I'll do is I'll just kind of get a measurement of how much slack I need, and then we'll just kind of ball it up and stick it down there. So that way, when it is rock and roll time, we'll have enough slack, and we just plug it in, and then we hit our button, and we are off to the races. One more quick side note. I kind of cleaned up some of the stuff down here, got things organized, and it reminded me at the beginning of the video when I said we need to test the key on circuit to see if it shuts the everything else basically down and just distributes power to the starter. And apparently that is the case. So that means I have to put a starter button in. I had my Ford F100 I believe it did that. I can't remember if it did or not, or I just thought it would. But thank you to whoever said that the Dodge keys are like that. So essentially everything on keyed power, when I flip it over to start, it takes the keyed power away. The stuff that's consistently hot, like radio and there's some other things, just stay on, but it's not keyed. So we're gonna have to figure that one out. I think what we do there is you put the keyed power on, so you put it in the keyed power position, and then that would give the start button its power, and then I could pull power from whatever is keyed. Essentially, like the coil power, whatever I have. Yeah, it's a coil power wire. It's a keyed wire, so that would turn the computer on. So essentially the switch now, instead of starting it, we'll just turn the power on, and then we'll have a start button. So looks like I got to order and put that in as well, but I'm glad that somebody mentioned that, because it probably would have drove me nuts and be like, this thing's not starting, and that would have been why. So at least we dodged that bullet. Thank you to whoever mentioned that. I know I would have figured it out, but I probably would have chased my tail and been a little bummed, because as soon as the computer gets here and the motor's in, I probably wouldn't have thought of that. So at least I know better now. We'll get a start button, I'll get that ordered, and then maybe next week we'll have a start button come in too, and I can wire that in, but everything else is pretty much where it needs to go. I have a lot of stuff coming in next week, so the excitement is going to build back up for this thing. I have some stuff ordered, but it was just kind of trickling in, and I didn't really know where I was at, and then this week was just kind of funky. I didn't really know what was going to go down or whatever, so I ordered stuff end of the week versus beginning of the week. So now that I have things rolling in next week, it'll get exciting again. So hopefully I'll keep you guys posted. We should be able to get the short block back next week. I think we're going to go with the 317s, and then the short block, the 10 over, fully forged Molly pistons, Gen 4 rods, all new bearings. We got the Crowler cam, all that fun stuff to install. The Granatelli cutout is in. It is wired basically. Once I bolt everything on, I'll just plug that thing in, and it's wired to the switch on the dash. We also figured out that I need a start switch, so I'm going to order that today, so that way by next week I'll have that, so we can wire that in. And then I've got the fuel pump wired, and the fuel gauge wires run all the way to the front. So we are pretty good. I do have to double check though to make sure that that wire will support the amperage on the Marlboro 450. I don't think they pull a terrible amount of amps, but we'll double check and make sure that that wire will handle it. Yeah, so now it's just kind of a waiting game for some parts. My in-laws were here. They did some more measuring, some more stuff. They measured for flooring, so we'll probably get that ordered pretty soon. So we are rolling right along. Oh, and I've got wheels up north. I think I told you guys about that, and I was having trouble trying to ship them and whatever. The guy's name, I believe, is Seth. Very cool. He's helped me out. He got the tires and wheels. He dismounted them. He put them on a pallet, and then he's even going to deliver it, I think, to what is that, Fastenal, the Blue Line shipping. So it's a decent rate. I already got a quote. If he drops it off there, that thing will make its way over here, and then I will have wheels. So that will be exciting. And then next time you guys come back, I think it's brakes. So I'm going to do my research, do my due diligence this week, see if I can get brake parts rolling in. And I think the plan with the brakes is to go late model GM Hydro Boost. So I'll do the complete master cylinder and Hydro Boost. We will mount it and make it work with the pedal that's in there, and then I will just plumb it from the front to the back, and we'll just make it work. That's what we're going to do. So that is the plan with that. I'm going to wrap it up, cover things up. It's supposed to rain all week again, but Goonies never say die. We are getting close. I got some major parts coming together. Got the Holly ordered. This thing is going to be epic here in the next couple weeks. We're going to have some fun. Stick around, stay tuned, tell your friends, like, subscribe, share. We're going to start this thing live, by the way, which I'm glad I found out about that key problem, because I really would look like a jackass, because there's no way it would have started. So we're going to cross our T's and dot the I's and all this stuff, fun stuff we need to do. So hopefully when you guys are all here watching, we hit the key, this thing makes some noise, and we all smile and giggle. So that's it, man. I'm going to wrap it up, call it a day. I hope you guys had a great, well, I hope you're having a great Tuesday, I should say, even though this is my weekend. But that is it. I'm out.